Welcome back to the JARS Support Frequently Asked Questions. The information provided in this audio file is provided as a suggested method for implementing the JARS money management system that you learned at the Millionaire Mind Intensive and in the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth by T.Harv Eker. We are not qualified to provide professional investment or financial advice, and this information is provided as a guide only. In our experience, this system has shown to be an effective means of creating positive money management habits. However, it may not be suitable for everyone. Should you have any specific questions about your situation, please consult a qualified tax or investment advisor. This section is about the Financial Freedom Account, the FFA. The most often asked question about the Financial Freedom Account is, do I ever spend my FFA account? And the answer is no! Never! Don't ever touch it. Don't use it to pay down debt or anything else. If your necessities require more than 50 to 55% of your income, have another look at your percentages. Choose an amount that works for you and commit to it. Even if it's just $50 a month, you're creating a habit each time you use your accounts. You must develop the habit for the long term. Never take money out of your financial freedom account to add to your long-term savings and spending account to go and buy something that won't produce value for you. And by value, we mean profit. The financial freedom account is the golden goose, and you are going to live off the eggs provided by that goose later on in your life. Never kill the goose. Use the eggs once you can live on the percentage of money that they produce. Any money you generate through your financial freedom account goes back into your financial freedom account until you can live on that amount. And when you can live on that amount, you still maintain the JARS system. So when you retire and you have a passive income coming out of your financial freedom account, you take your monthly income out and divide it into your JARS. So some of it is going to go back into your financial freedom account. Now, a lot of people also ask, well, what passive income opportunities are there for my financial freedom account? There are way too many to mention here, but Harv has put together Millionaire School, a program designed as a tool to help you find opportunities and learn how to invest your money wisely. You can learn more about this program by calling Peak Potentials Training at 1-888-868-8883. If you don't yet have any money to invest, it's time to start educating yourself so that when the money comes, you'll know exactly what you want to do with it. We are not investment counselors or securities people. We just want you to develop the habit of managing your money so that at some point you will be able to make investment decisions that support your growth. Often people ask, for Canadians, is my RRSP, or for Americans, is my 401k part of my financial freedom account? And the answer is absolutely yes, it is. Treat it as such and don't go blowing that money. It is not to be spent until you can live on it. The 90-day manual indicates to add to the financial freedom account every day. But what if you don't have something to add every day? Where does that money come from? Well, it comes from your pocket change at the end of the day. Just throw that change into your financial freedom jar every single day. Anything you have left over when you get home, throw it in the jar. It's not another percentage. It doesn't get divided up. This focuses you on your financial freedom account. If you put $100 a month in your financial freedom account and you're buying coffee at Starbucks or some other coffee joint every day, consider not purchasing that coffee and instead put the cost of the coffee into your financial freedom account. You know, if you love coffee and you love having it every day, go ahead and have it. Don't give up your favorites. But if you don't really care that much about coffee, use that money in your financial freedom account. Okay, on to long-term savings and spendings. A lot of people ask, well, what kind of things should I use my LTSS jar for? You know, you can use this jar for any big purchases you'd like to make. And as we mentioned in an earlier part of the program, you can also use it as a secondary means of paying down your debt if you choose to. You don't need to do that, but it is something that you can do if you have a high consumer debt load. But use this jar for something that you dream of. And if you want to, you can even label your jar. Underneath LTSS, label the jar what exactly you are saving for, so that as the jar gets fatter and fatter, you see how much closer you're getting to that specific thing. And the visual reminder is very powerful. So some things you might use your LTSS jar for, you might save up for: a new car, remodeling your kitchen, a new big screen television, a family or your dream vacation, your down payment on a new house, a sailboat, anything that is nice to have as opposed to need to have. Dinner for the family is a need to have. Dinner at the newest and greatest restaurant that just opened up down the street, that's a nice to have. A lot of people ask, can I have more than one LTSS jar at one time? And how would I split this up if I do? And yes, the answer is yes. You can technically have as many LTSS jars as you like. However, we recommend you limit yourself to 2 or 3 at the absolute most. If you're going to have more than one LTSS jar, you would take the total amount that you would normally have assigned for savings and spending, the 10% or whatever other value you've assigned for long-term savings and spending, and divide that equally between the number of jars that you have. So a lot of people ask, can I use the LTSS to pay off my debts? We did answer that just recently, but if your current debt load is high, it is okay to create a second LTSS jar that you will use for your debt repayment. When you take money out of this jar to make a payment onto your credit card or other consumer debt, never empty it fully. Always leave at least $1 in the account. This is a psychological trick because you never want to get that jar down to 0, okay? And the last question that we get a lot in this particular area about the LTSS jar is, can I use my long-term savings and spendings to purchase birthday and Christmas or holiday gifts? You know, if you're going to use this money for gifts for other people, it's recommended that you have 2 LTSS jars. One would be for your dream item, the big gift that you want to give to yourself, and the other would be for your gift giving for your family and friends, your Christmas, your holiday, your birthday, your anniversary gifts, or any other gift that you might like to give somebody else. Moving on, let's talk about your education fund. A lot of people ask, what should I spend my education money on? Anything that you feel is a personal or professional development that contributes to your overall education can be part of your education fund. You know, and this can include books, audio or video home learning courses, live training events, and we know a great company that offers some tremendous courses that will improve every area of your life, or any other continuing education through a college or university are all examples of great ways that you can use the funds in this jar. You know, for a complete listing of our programs and products that can support your growth and things that you might like to spend your education fund on, please visit us online at www.peakpotentials.com. The next question that we get asked about the education fund, and really there are only 2, the previous one and this one, can I use my education jar for my children's education? The answer is absolutely not. Your children should have their own set of jars, and you can create a college fund for them. But your education jar is for your own self-development. Consider it an investment in your own future. As you continue to grow and as you continue to learn, your earning power will also increase. So it really is an investment in your financial future. Remember, if you're not growing, you're automatically what? You're dying, right? The next jar is the play jar. One of the most common questions, and almost everybody asks this question, is do I really have to spend my play jar every single month? Absolutely, the answer is yes. Definitely spend it once a month as often as you possibly can. Savers need to spend to keep happy and motivated and rewarded. If you really want to try that hot new restaurant and you know 1 month worth of play money won't cut it, well, you can save that jar for a maximum of 3 months before you spend it. But be sure to blow it every month, or at the very least every 3 months. It's a powerful, powerful reminder that you are living the life that you want to be living. And a lot of people say, well, isn't that wasteful? But you know what? Money was created to be spent. Hoarding all of your money and never spending it tells the universe that you are fearful of not having enough. When this becomes your focus, it quickly becomes your reality. Remember, what you focus on expands. It's also a very powerful visualization technique. You've probably heard the saying before, fake it till you make it. This is the same idea. You're training yourself to think in terms of abundance. You are enjoying the fruits of your labors on a regular basis. Some people ask, but shouldn't I be concentrating on paying off my debts? Well, absolutely. You need to take care of any debts you might have, but you don't want to focus on that exclusively. As I said, what you focus on expands. So focusing on paying your debt will only train you to have debt that you need to pay off. You might only have 10 or 20 cents in your play jar at the end of the month. If you're one of those people who just needs to start with $1 a month right now, you know what? That's okay. Go and treat yourself to a candy that you might not ordinarily get for yourself. Savor that candy. Enjoy every single moment of it. But make sure that you go out and blow that money. That's what it's there for. So the final question in this area on this topic is it really that important that I have the play jar and that I spend it regularly? And I think by now you know the answer. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, moving on to the give jar. What makes a gift? The give jar is for charitable contributions, particularly in ways that impact the greater community. One of the reasons to become rich is to be able to contribute at a greater level than we're currently able to contribute. So exactly what you donate to, that's entirely up to you. Some people use it as a tithe to their church or spiritual organization. Other people sponsor children in countries around the world or to animal rescue organizations. Maybe someone in your office or place of business is participating in a fund drive or a run or a walkathon for a cause that really resonates with you. You know, and also, during times of intense need, such as the recent hurricanes in the United States or the tsunami victims around the world, much is needed and much is asked from ordinary people like you and me. And your give jar can be used for these purposes as well. Some people ask, you know, if I give to my son or my daughter to help them pay their rent or get school supplies, does that count? And the answer is no. Giving money to help your direct family is more of a necessity than a gift situation, and it should be taken from your necessities funds. The give jar should be used primarily to help those outside your inner circle. Now to the big jar, the necessities. What makes something a necessity? Well, necessities are the things in life that you absolutely cannot do without. Food, your rent or mortgage payments, the gas bill, car payments, or insurance are all examples of necessities. If you're not 100% sure if something is a necessity or not, it probably isn't. To be sure, just ask yourself, what are the consequences of not having this thing? If the answer is, well, the bank's going to repossess it, well, then it probably is a necessity. But if your answer is more like, well, the neighbors all have one, or, but I really, really want it, well, it probably isn't a necessity. A roof over your head is a necessity. A heated indoor swimming pool is not. In the end, what is necessity and what isn't is really up to you to decide, but you need to look at these items with an open mind and really decide what is a necessity, what isn't. Not saying not to have the things that aren't necessities, just pay for them out of a different jar. Make sure that your necessities are covering your necessities only. Keep that percentage to 50 or 55%, or in some cases, people can get it down to 30, 35%. That's an incredible simplification process. It takes some time, but as you start to track your spending, you'll be able to see places where you can make some changes. You can lower your necessities spending.